Let's go Broncos! Bold decisions are being made, key players are battling injuries, and unsung heroes are shining when it matters most. I have details you won't hear anywhere else, things that could change your perspective on this final stretch of the season. So, if you're a true Broncos fan, don't scroll down. Before I reveal everything I've discovered, give this a like right now, but only if you're a die-hard Broncos fan. And if you followed the Broncos through thick and thin, leave a comment saying, "Go Broncos! We're ready for January." I'll tell you everything. Let's go. Now let's dive straight into what's really going on, starting with the big man in the trenches, DJ Jones. A true anchor on the Broncos defensive line and a textbook example of what it means to be a Denver Bronco. After that hard-fought battle against the Washington Commanders, there was a noticeable pause, a hold-your-breath moment, as fans waited for clarity on his status. Unfortunately, as of the most recent updates, DJ Jones hasn't practiced on either Wednesday or Thursday, and it's looking more and more likely that he'll miss the Raiders game in Week 14. That might sound alarming, but let's be real. We need DJ Jones for the playoffs, not to grind through the Raiders in Week 14. Resting him now is a calculated move. DJ's presence is one of the biggest reasons Denver ranks in the NFL's top 10 against the run. He's recorded 23 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 13 pressures, all while holding a respectable PFF grade of 66.8. Not gospel, but a solid indicator of consistency. ESPN's metrics back this up even more with a run-stop win rate of 31%. That's 8th best in the entire league. That kind of production doesn't grow on trees. If DJ can't go, expect Malcolm Roach, rookie Sevon Jones, and Ioma Uwazurike to step in. Roach has shown he can hold his own, and Sevon has intriguing potential. But let's not pretend this doesn't sting. Every piece matters when you're talking playoff-caliber defense, especially when opposing teams are going to lean heavily on the run game due to worsening weather and high-stakes matchups. Now, while we're talking about concerns, here's something that might surprise you, the running back room. When asked what unit I'm most worried about, that's the one I circle. The power run game has been inconsistent, and down the stretch, it's going to need to be a pillar of this team. We've seen flashes, but flashes won't win you playoff games. Denver needs a power identity on the ground, and right now it still feels a bit undefined. But not all news is grim. In fact, let's pivot to something really exciting. Jonah Ellis is back. Practiced fully on Wednesday and again on Thursday, and that's a massive boost for this defense. His stats don't jump off the page. 14 tackles, 3 for loss, 1 sack, 2 QB hits, but that's not the full story. Jonah's special teams grade is a strong 70.5, one of the best on the entire roster. That's huge. In a playoff race, special teams can be the difference between a win and a loss. Coming into the season, I predicted Ellis could be one of 3 Broncos edge rushers to crack double-digit sacks, along with Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper. Benito is right on track, Cooper still has a shot, and Ellis, barring a miracle run, won't get there this season. But that doesn't mean he hasn't impressed. His presence, combined with Benito and Cooper, is part of why this Broncos edge unit has been so fun to watch. Add in younger guys like Dondre Tillman and Quantez Robinson, and you've got a group that's hungry, aggressive, and exceeding expectations. Robinson in particular has been a revelation on special teams and in rotational snaps, delivering big-time hits and playing with a chip on his shoulder. And speaking of players who needed a breakout game, how about Evan Ingram? Against the Commanders, he finally gave us a glimpse of what he can be in this offense. 6 catches, 79 yards, and a clutch 41-yard reception in overtime that helped set up the game-winning touchdown. That's the Evan Ingram Broncos fans were promised. That's the guy we need down the stretch. Because as much as we can celebrate the improvements across the board, and there are many, we've also got to be honest about the areas that still feel shaky. And that brings us right back to the offensive identity. While the defense has been carving out a real backbone for this team, the offense is still searching for that consistent punch, and that includes the run game and red zone efficiency. Evan Ingram's resurgence couldn't come at a better time. His breakout against the Commanders wasn't just stat padding, it was clutch. That 41-yard catch in overtime was a dagger, and it flipped the entire momentum of the game. That's what elite tight ends do. They don't just move the chains, they show up when it matters most. If he can replicate even 75% of that performance over these next 5 games, we're talking about a serious difference maker when the stakes are highest. And speaking of those final games, the schedule doesn't do us any favors. The Broncos have 5 left, and each one feels like a must-win. Playoff positioning is on the line, so you need every edge you can get, whether that's a healthy DJ Jones clogging up the middle, Jonah Ellis making life miserable for opposing quarterbacks, or Evan Ingram finally becoming that red zone weapon the offense has lacked. These aren't just pieces, they're the difference between being one and done in January and making a real push. It's also worth keeping a close eye on depth, because one injury can shake everything. That's why the continued emergence of rotational players like Quantez Robinson and Cevon Jones is huge. You need your starters healthy, yes, but you also need the next man up to be ready, mentally, physically, and tactically. Robinson, in particular, has been a spark plug on special teams and isn't afraid to hit. That's the kind of energy you need late in the season. And the defense as a whole, honestly, it feels like a sleeping giant. With Pat Certain 2 locking down receivers on the back end and Benito and Cooper creating chaos off the edge, Denver's D is built for cold weather football. Stopping a run? Check. Forcing turnovers? They've been getting better every week. But the real test is consistency. Can they string together 4 quarters against elite competition? That's the million-dollar question. What this all builds up to is pressure. Not just from opposing offenses, but from the weight of expectations. Because let's be real, Broncos country isn't satisfied with just getting to the postseason. Not after all the false starts and rebuild promises. This fan base wants wins, playoff wins, and for the first time in years, it feels like we might actually be in position to do it. But only if everyone shows up, week in and week out. The margin for error is razor thin. You can't afford missed assignments, wasted possessions, or mental lapses. That's why leadership from guys like DJ Jones matters so much, even if he's not on the field. His presence, his film room voice, his tone in the locker room, it matters. Same with veterans like Ingram. Their experience can help steady the younger guys as the pressure ramps up. Because the truth is, Broncos country, we are right on the edge of something special. This isn't just about sneaking into the playoffs. This is about momentum, identity, and proving that all the rebuilding, all the setbacks, all the painful seasons have led to this moment. The team we're watching right now has heart, it has grit, and maybe, just maybe, it has enough firepower to shock the league. Look around the AFC, there are no unbeatable juggernauts this year. Every team has flaws. Every contender has vulnerabilities. What separates those who make deep runs from those who fizzle out in the wild card round is one thing, belief. And right now, this Broncos squad is starting to believe in themselves. The energy is shifting. The locker room is tighter. The players know what's at stake. Evan Ingram's resurgence might be one of the most important storylines heading into the final stretch. If he becomes the reliable weapon we hope for, especially in the red zone, this offense becomes a whole new animal. And on the other side of the ball, guys like Jonah Ellis and Quantez Robinson are proving that depth matters, and that the next wave of Broncos defenders is ready to make a name for themselves. And don't underestimate the importance of DJ Jones returning to full health before the postseason. This defense thrives when he's on the field, commanding double teams and freeing up others to make plays. If Denver can get him back in time for the playoffs, they'll have one of the most complete front sevens in the conference. So now the question shifts from can we get in, to what will we do once we get there? Because make no mistake, if this team gets hot at the right time, there's no reason they can't make serious noise in January. Sean Payton knows it, the players know it, and if you've been paying attention, you know it too. So Broncos fans, it's your turn to sound off. Do you believe this team has what it takes to go on a run? Can this defense carry us? Will the offense rise to the occasion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for all the latest updates, and stick around. We've got more Broncos content on the screen right now waiting for you. Go Broncos!